This is a trade recap for July the 17th, 2012 on the ES Runner and Euro Runner trading systems. Because this morning was a build-up to Bernanke's speech at 10 o'clock, there was no trading pre-market. There was no trading prior to Bernanke speaking. So what I'll show you here is the profit for the systems after Bernanke spoke. He spoke at 10 a.m. That's the big candle you see right here, the big short at 10 a.m. We had a scalp that came in here. Some traders took the scalp and made 2 points. I suggested most didn't. I don't think really any did because one candle outside of the news event itself was not a time to take a trade. Right. What we do on a big release like Bernanke talking is we don't trade before he speaks, including the market building up to it, the pre-market or the market open, the regular trading market open that is. And we don't trade within half an hour of him speaking. Majority of what he has to say comes out in his report. That's available to the world at 10 o'clock in the morning. He then takes questions from congressmen and senators on the state of the economy, but his report is available at 10 o'clock. That is why between 10 and 10:15, the most erratic trades can happen because algorithms around the world analyze the key words in his speech and make trades based on the keywords. If the words are either bearish or bullish, the market can go either short or long. When the market got the information at 10 o'clock, you could see they immediately sold off very strongly. The market dropped about 4 or 5 points, and then over the next 2 or 3 candles, dropped another 4 or 5 points. The market moved approximately 7 or 8 points here in about 5 minutes. So there's a lot of reaction to his report. After that, we wait about 30 minutes and we start to look for trades. Here at 10:30, the first scalp came in. I told the traders to take the scalp. They took it. They made their 8 ticks of profit. As you can see, the first scalp number in what's called a series, that's the white line on the smart loss line. A lot of times the first scalp makes a lot more than 2 points. But to be conservative, we stay with 2 points today. Made 2 points here. A cautionary trade is a contract, is a half a position size. So for the system's profitability, I use 2 contracts for a primary entry. Primary entry would look like this with an R printed. That's a primary entry. That's 2 contracts. A scalp is 1 contract. Cautionary trade is also 1 contract because it's half as much as the primary entry because it's a cautionary trade, meaning that the move beforehand was 5 points or more, which means this might be a small retracement of a larger movement. So therefore, we've got 8 ticks on the scalp on 1 contract, 8 ticks on the primary entry on 1 contract. The first valid intra-series scalp, that is a scalp along a series, not the first number in the series, but a number later in the series. It fit the rule. Please refer to my website or come in the room for explanation about the simple rules related to an intra-series scalp. That trade was taken here. That made 8 ticks. This next intra-series scalp came in here. That made 8 ticks. This scalp here was during lunchtime. We don't take trades between 12 and 1. This trade was taken at 11:50. Excuse me. Sorry, that's actually a 12:20 trade. That actually is not a trade that the room would have taken. So let me get that out of there. Let me delete that. This was the last trade at 11:58 right here. This trade was a trade that several traders took in the room because it was the last push on the part of the European banks. Around 12:15, they make a lot of times the last push. But I recommended traders don't take trades during lunchtime. If they had taken this trade, which some did, they made 8 ticks on this trade, but they obviously gave back some of their money on this trade right here. This scalp right here being exited at the first aqua triangle, cautionary, that is a opposite direction triangle or printed in aqua. That is an exit for a scalp. That would have been taken out here for about a 2-tick loss. So we've got the 8 ticks from the scalp here. We've got the regular trading hours cautionary primary entry here for 8 ticks. We've got the scalp here for 8 ticks. We had a sprint trade right here that came in that made 8 ticks, but we're looking for 10 ticks on that trade. It missed it by 2. It was then exited at the first opposite direction triangle, the aqua triangle. That was 3 ticks. So the day, and then after that we had all trade scalp numbers inside the yellow, which aren't blue scalp numbers. Blue are the valid scalps to take. And so therefore the profit for the day was 19 ticks for the day, or a total of 4.75 points for the regular trading session. Now keep in mind, everybody, oh actually I'm sorry, we had a trade down here that lost. This one was a cautionary trade, 1 contract. It made 1 3/4 points. We're looking for 2 points. It missed it by 1 tick. It sucked because that trade at the end of the day would have brought the numbers up to 27 ticks. We just missed it. We ended up losing 8 ticks at the end of the day. Actually, had we made 8 ticks on this and not lost 8 ticks, it would be 16 more ticks to this overall day. It would have been 35 ticks today, not 19. This trade almost made its 8 right here, just missed it. What I wanted to say, though, was that this trade here, though I'm only using one contract, several traders who have traded 2 contracts or 4 contracts or 10 contracts or whatever took half their position out at 8 ticks of profit, which is the first profit target, and let the second half become a runner. The runner got closed all the way up here at the cross of the white line for a total of 8 more points of profit. Today, when the system made about 20 ticks, call it 5 points, majority of the room made about 8, 9, 10, and 12, and 15 points today because they had 2 contracts to trade. Keep in mind, everybody, I use the most conservative take-profit rules based on 2 contracts on a primary entry and half of that for a cautionary trade and half of that for a scalp. So on a cautionary trade, there are no opportunities for runners. This trade would have made, again, 8 points on a runner up here. Now, at the same time, this cautionary trade would have lost on 2 contracts then. But you know what? If you lose 8 ticks on this second contract, on this cautionary trade that missed its profit target, but made 8 more, that's 8 ticks, but made 8 more points on the second contract, traded on the second contract here on the cautionary trade, you give back 2 points on that last trade, on that second contract, losing the 2 points, but you make additional 8 points on the second contract traded here. So you're ahead 6 more points for the day. That's 6 more points times 4 ticks each. That's 24 more ticks on top of the 19. That's a 43 tick day. That's why a number of the traders in the room today made 8, 10, and 12 points today. So using conservative rules, we still had a very good day of making 5 points. There was no pre-market trading for the ES today. As for the euro had no trades prior to Bernanke talking, and then after Bernanke talked, there was a scalp that came in here after he spoke, but it was too close to him speaking, so this wasn't valid to take. And these other scalp numbers that came in were all intra-series scalps that didn't fit the rule for intra-series, so these weren't valid to take. So unfortunately, there were no valid trades on the euro today. The euro today, there was a long here that happened at 12:20, but we don't take trades after 12 o'clock, though it made 53 pips for traders, 0 pips against it. Outstanding trade. Again, keep in mind, this is a 53 pip trade right here. But I don't take any profit and loss after 12 o'clock. Most of the time after 12, there really is no trading. But occasionally there are big trades after 12 for the U.S. session, and here was one of them today. So for those who trade after 12 on euro trading, they had a good trade today. Other days, you won't really have much in the way of trading. So today is 0 pips on the euro. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you in the room. For questions about the system, please contact me at info@es-runner.com. Otherwise, you can also come in the room for a free trial, ask your questions there. Thanks very much. The website you can contact me at also on the website is www.es, a dash, which is again the minus sign, runner.com. Otherwise, easier is runnertrading.com. runnertrading.com. No dots, no hash, dashes, no anything. runnertrading.com. Thanks very much.